you have this very recent story that is coming out of the US. Within the US, there is a domestic sort of legislators are moving up against Trump's policies, and there's a three US lawmakers from across party lines as well. There, Deborah Ross, Mark Veazey, and Raja Krishnamurthy. All of them have moved the resolution to actually end the 50% tariffs that the Trump administration has imposed on India. And what they are stating is the fact that they're taking cognizance of Indian companies' investments in the US. What they're saying is that these companies have invested over $1 billion, particularly in the states that these lawmakers come from, which is North Carolina and Texas. And what they're saying is that eventually it's these tariffs that are coming back to bite the American workers, given the fact that they are also impacting the operations of these companies. They're they're impacting the hiring processes. They're impacting the exports also. What they're saying is that these are hurting U.S. consumers at the end. They're hurting supply chains, and also the sort of broad-based relationship that the U.S. has managed to build with India over the period of time, and this is coming back to bite them as well. So there is definitely political pressure that is emerging within the U.S. And all of this, of course, comes with the context of strained India-U.S. trade talks. You have these talks that have been going on since February.
Got it.
There was supposed to be some sort of a resolution there, but that's not been reached.
Got it. All right. Rishabh, thanks so much for getting us that update. And of course, let's go across to Santosh Rao, who's head of research and partner at Manhattan Venture, just to get a sense of what he thinks about this. Santosh, a very good morning from where we're at. And what do you think about this political pressure in the US that is pushing back somewhat against the tariffs? And do you think that a resolution can be found before either legal or political pressure finds a way?
I think, great, thanks for having me. I think definitely the wind and the way the talk is flowing, the narrative is flowing, I think that's where we're headed. I think the tariffs will come off at some point because there's internal pressure. And also President Trump has realized that the risk and reward of this whole exercise of 50% tariffs, I don't think it has really done any harm to India. I mean, it has done at the margins, but that hasn't really stopped anything in India. So I think he's realizing that, okay, that's fine. We made our point. And I think there's internal pressure. And don't realize, we are heading into a very important year for him. The midterm elections will come up in November, and he's going to be a totally different person. And he's going to listen to his people. Already the Republican Party is worried about losing the majority in the House. So he's going to be very constructive on this tariff and all this talk. And he needs India. It's affecting prices. It's affecting the job market. So overall, net, if you see the benefits of cutting the tariffs, is much more. I don't know if it'll go below 25% after he removes that 25 extra. We don't know, but it'll definitely come down the way the talk is going. And when I hear all this Krishnamurthy and all the other congressmen talk about this.
Let's hope it happens sooner rather than later. It's good to get some clarity around these things instead of things staying as they are. The other thing, Santosh, is for the world markets at large, what is arguably a very important central banking decision is the BOJ. And the way the yields have moved, it almost seems that it's implied that the BOJ will do a rate hike despite Japanese GDP numbers not looking all that great. Is there any impact, or because it's been spoken about for so long and pre-positioning might have been done, that it might turn out to be a bit of a non-event?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much priced in. We knew about this a couple of weeks back. There was a lot of adjustment. The carry trade that is very popular, I think that started unwinding. So I think it's already priced in. I don't see any big surprise there. They are going to raise rates there. So I'm not really worried about that part. I think the bigger issue here is now with the new Fed chair that Trump is thinking about who is it going to be, and that's how the market is going to see that. I think that's very important. The way the long bonds are still high and might edge up more if Kevin Hassett becomes the nominee. So we don't know yet. I think there's a lot of things to consider here in terms of interest rates. Bank of Japan has its own dynamics there, but I think it's more about here and who will be the next chair that will really drive the Fed policy.
Santosh, hi, Tamanna here. From an emerging markets perspective and from an India perspective, I mean, any ease on tariffs, of course, would be a huge relief. But does that change in any significant way the FI outlook on India?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. It'll be very constructive. I think money will start flowing back in. Right now, there's a lot of things going on. The rupees going down, the devaluing rather against the dollar. All those things will come back alive. I think once the trade comes back to a normal equation, I think that's good for India. India is growing regardless. So I think the foreign investors are going to come back in. At this point, there's still a relative advantage in going to Japan, to China, and other places in terms of the valuations. But at some point, I think even India is getting very attractive with the prices coming down. Earnings actually took a big hit. I think now it'll start going up with more constructive policies from the Modi government, and all those things will kick in. I think 2026 will see a much better picture in terms of attracting foreign money back into India. That's my take.
All right. Santosh, on that note, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Pleasure having you as always.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.